HiyaHiya crocheters! This week I have returned to a crochet project in hopes of improving this craft. In this video I will be making these crochet cactus coasters by Sorella. To make this I am using this green and this red double knit yarn that was purchased from Mulberry Yarns. It has gorgeous shades in it and how it knits up, it's just a lovely mix. I am also using my light turquoise sparkle yarn from Craft House Magic. I did do a test crochet of this pattern on the recommended 4.25mm crochet hook, and it was way too big for my mug, so I've sized down to a 2.1mm nickel plated HiyaHiya crochet hook. This whole pattern is in US terms and I will be referring to it as such throughout. To start, I'm using my green yarn and making a magic ring. I am chaining 2 from that ring before crocheting 8 half double crochets around the ring. I am then slip stitching to join and then chaining 2, so it helps expand the circle. Now my first attempt at this, I clearly hadn't had enough caffeine as I didn't do the chains and it got too tight too quickly, but it's part of learning, so make sure you do those chains. Round 2 is a half double crochet twice into every stitch around, slipping the last stitch to join, then chaining 2, leaving me with 16 stitches. Round 3 is half double crochet twice into the first stitch, and then half double crochet once into the next. Repeat this around, slipping the last stitch to join again, leaving me with 24 stitches. Round 4 is half double crochet twice into the first stitch, then half double crochet once into the next 2 stitches, repeating around, slipping the last stitch to join. I have now got 32 stitches on my work. Round 5 is half double crochet twice into the first stitch, and then half double crochet once into the next 3 stitches, repeating this around, slipping into the last stitch to join, chaining 2, leaving me with 40 stitches. Round 6 is half double crochet twice into the first stitch, and then half double crochet once into the next 4 stitches. Guess what? Repeating around, slipping the last stitch to join, but on this one you do not need to chain 2. Just slip that last stitch, leave it as that. You should have 48 stitches on your work. And round 7 is now to do a single crochet in every stitch around, just creating a nice border and slipping the last stitch to join. Trim the end. I'm using my puppy snips to do this as ever, and weave in all your ends. Now it only took about 20-25 minutes to make one coaster, but I'm not sure if I've got my tension right as it is curling a bit. I will have to look into this and see if anyone else is having this issue with the pattern on Ravelry, and I'm sure I will update you with this at the end of the video. Now I'm going to use my light turquoise to sew the little V shapes into it to create that cactus look. The pattern does suggest a cream yarn, but I really like this yarn, so I'm going to use this. There is no set way to do it, it's just sewing little V's into it, so place them where you want. You don't even have to do this part if you don't want to, but I do. I'm using my HiyaHiya Darn It darning needle to do this. Now there are instructions on how to make a flower to put on the coaster as well, but I'm already a clumsy enough person without an extra bit on my coaster for my mug to go falling over and spilling tea everywhere, so I am skipping this bit, but I might make it to add to the pot afterwards. Now you have to repeat this coaster pattern as many times as you want to create as many coasters as you want, but if you are planning on making the pot that I'll cover next, about 3 to 6 would be ideal to fit into that pot without overcrowding it. But for this video you will see 3 and this pot. Now for the plant pot. I am swapping to my burnt red yarn. For round 1 I'm going to chain 9 stitches and then working back into the chain, skipping the first chain. I am single crocheting up until the 2nd stitch from the end, putting 3 single crochets into the last stitch, turning the work and single crocheting to the penultimate stitch on the other side, and once again putting 3 single crochets into that last stitch. Slipping the stitch to join the round and chaining 1 to expand it, and I now have 20 stitches on my work. Round 2 is single crochet 9 stitches, 3 single crochets into the next stitch, single crochet the next 11 stitches, 3 single crochets in the last stitch, slipping that stitch to join the round and chaining 1 to expand. I now have 24 stitches on my work. Round 3 is single crochet 10 stitches, 3 single crochets in the next stitch, single crochet the next 13 stitches, 3 single crochets in the last stitch, slipping the last stitch to join the round and chaining 1, and I now have 28 stitches on my work. Now round 4 is single crochet every stitch, but I am doing this into the back loop of every stitch, and round 5 is single crochet every stitch as normal, so you should still have 28 stitches at the end of this. Round 6 is single crochet the next 11 stitches, 3 single crochets in the next, single crochet the next 13 stitches, 3 single crochets in the next, and then single crochet into every stitch until the end, slipping the last stitch to join, chaining 1 to expand, ending with 32 stitches. Now round 7, there's a few more increases. So it's single crochet the next 11 stitches, 2 single crochets into the next stitch, a single crochet the next stitch, 2 single crochets into the stitch after that, single crochet the next 13 stitches, 2 single crochets into the next, followed by a single crochet in the next stitch, 2 single crochets in the stitch after that, and single crochet right until the end, slipping into the last stitch to join the round and chaining 1, ending with 36 stitches. That was a mouthful to say. I am sorry if you got lost. I will have the instructions on the screen for you. Now round 8, repeat round 6, and round 9, repeat round 7. So you should have 44 stitches at the end of that. Round 10 and 11 is simple single crochet every stitch, slipping the last stitch to join the round and chaining 1 out. Round 12 is single crochet into the front loop of every stitch around, slipping the last stitch to join and chaining 1. Round 13 is single crochet into the back loop of every stitch once, slipping the last stitch to join the round and chaining 1. And the final round, 14, is single crochet into every stitch, ending with a slip stitch to join up your work. Now cut off your yarn, weave in the ends, and you should have a little plant pot for your coasters to pop into. So here's the finished work. I did have to restart the pot a few times as the increases didn't work as smoothly as I'd hoped. It made the pot a bit wonky and not as smooth as the image does show on Ravelry. So I'm not 100% happy with how this pattern turned out, but upon checking the comments on its Ravelry pattern, I found several people had similar issues with the coasters curling and the pot being wonky. So if you have had similar issues, please check out I Love Knit's blog on this pattern, which I will put a link to below, as she has some great tips on how to improve this. I will be making some more of these with the corrections suggested in that blog, which I will update on our Instagram. And I may do a corrections video in the future like I have done for past projects, but hopefully this video and pattern will inspire you to try it. I have definitely improved my understanding of crochet through making these, which is great and confirms learning through mistakes works. I am looking at tackling more crochet patterns to improve my skill, so please comment below your suggestions. As always, please like and subscribe for weekly updates from the world of HiyaHiyaEurope. I will have links below to our stockists from whom you can purchase the tools I have used in this video. And if you are looking at becoming a HiyaHiyaEurope stockist, there will be a link to our simple registration page below too. So until next week, happy crocheting!